Feel the thunder in a brand new way. Charge a Daytona lights up the day. EV riders roll and plug it in and go. Scat pack power with electric glow.
Welcome to another episode of EV Rider. This time we've got the Dodge Charger Daytona. And for whatever reason, Dodge hasn't actually sent a press car of the Daytona to Jacksonville. So what better place to test a Daytona than in Daytona Beach? Garrett here has met up with me. He came all the way in from Orlando and I drove down from Jacksonville. And Garrett, first question out of the gate, how do you like your Scat Pack?
I love this thing. I mean, it's been a great car for me so far. I've had it since March and wouldn't change it for anything. It's truly been great.
Well, listen, I'm going to get right to what a lot of people talk about, and that's the whole debate over a Hemi versus an EV. You have had something like 40 cars already in your lifetime. So Talk to me, in your opinion, about the difference between a good old-fashioned V8 and this dual-engine Scat Pack.
I mean, everybody's going to tell you there's no replacement for displacement, and that's true to some degree, but this EV is a whole different ballgame. I mean, just being able to come home at night, plug the car in, and just be fully charged, never have to worry about stopping at a gas station, nothing like that. It's truthfully awesome. But the performance I get out of this, it's nothing I've ever felt before, short of a Hellcat powered Challenger or Charger. This thing is wild.
Now you say Hellcat, Challenger, or Charger. Let's compare those two directly. In a 0 to 60 run, does a Hellcat stand a chance?
They'll be close.
By now, anyone that actually cares already knows, but for folks that don't follow the Daytona, this thing will kick the old V8 Hemi's butt in 0 to 60 runs. It's rated at a Dodge estimated 3.3, 0 to 60.
Obviously with a dual motor, this thing is going to come off the line a lot faster, but the Hellcat's going to start bringing you in. Where a Hellcat's going to come out of the gate and beat you is going to be top speed. Where this tops out at 136, Hellcat's going to keep going, up to 200. That's mainly due to limitations of this thing being a single-speed gearbox vehicle.
Now, a lot of criticism has been leveled against the Daytona and the six-pack due to the weight. But how do you find the weight? How is the handling when you take a corner?
Oh, night and day difference. This thing will grip a corner like a BMW would. This thing is pretty wild when it comes out of it. It's not big, doesn't feel bloated, doesn't feel boaty. It's thoroughly planted, and with the near 50-50 weight distribution with the battery pack and the e-motors, this thing is a lot of engineering time went into this.
So would you say it's fair to assess that a stock Hellcat, Challenger, or Charger from the last gen wouldn't hold a candle in the handling department, or would they?
I don't think you could put them side by side and this thing would outhandle it all day long.
Now, did you ever own a Hellcat or Charger?
No, I've driven plenty of them before though.
You've driven plenty,
yeah,
okay.
I never owned one.
Okay, and let's start talking about it on its merits as an EV. When you were considering the Charger, did you consider any other EVs?
Not necessarily. It was mainly, looking at this, a Charger, or possibly even the Wagoneer S. The styling of this Charger is really what drug me to it.
Yeah.
I feel it's a muscle car for the modern age.
Give me an idea of what you've seen for peak DC charging speed and what you see for range.
I've seen up to 250 kW. That has been the peak on this thing. And a lot of times by the time I'm hit 70%, I'm down to 100 or less, and then it jumps down from there significantly, obviously, once it hits over 80.
Actually, that is amazing to me because I believe the factory peak rating is 190.
I've hit way over that.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. I'm actually surprised that a 400-volt vehicle could hit that peak. So let's also talk about range. Give me an idea of what you're seeing for range.
So obviously EPA puts this thing at 242 for the range on it. As long as I keep my foot out of it and don't drive it like crazy, I can see on the highway, put the vehicle in eco mode and do a little bit of convenient drafting of other vehicles. I've seen up to 300 miles of range of a single charge equivalent, essentially.
And what were the ambient conditions for that particular run?
And I think it was 70 to 75 degrees. I really wasn't running the air conditioning that too much, but it was comfortable.
I don't know if our microphones can pick it up, but the Fraxonic exhaust is doing its job. I can indeed hear it. We're in what's known as normal mode, so it's not as intense, but we'll go ahead and switch it over. There, you can hear it. So I think people that miss a V8, that's why Dodge did this. I mean, it really, you can have it either way. You don't want sound, just shut it off. But if you want that feel of a V8, Dodge has done a pretty good job of simulating. And you can hear it. And by the way, we're on A1A, which is Florida's oceanfront highway, so we can't really go very fast. You've already taken this on a cross-country trip, haven't you?
It's been to Texas, been to Michigan, Pennsylvania. It's been around.
So let's talk about it as a highway car. How is it? How is it as a cruiser?
It's a great highway car. I mean, it's got Stellantis assist, active highway assist, so lane keep assist, forward collision warning. As long as I keep a hand on the steering wheel and pay somewhat attention, this thing will just drive itself. It's great, it's comfortable. It gets plenty of looks driving around on the highway all day long, that's for sure.
Had Dodge brought out a Hemi or a blown Hemi on day one beside this, would you have still gotten the EV?
I really think I would have, just driving this and the back and forth this thing does. I love it. I love the fact that I can just stop at home and just plug it in and don't have to worry about stopping for gas.
Well, and I think a lot of people, get pretty hung up about the idea of range anxiety. And here's a guy, you've gone to Michigan, you've gone to Texas. Talk to me about how those trips went. Did you have headaches?
No, not really. I mean, and I'm not really a habitual planner when it comes down to that stuff. What made it best for me is I've got an app, Better Route Planner. I'm sure most of us in the EVscape know this app.
Yep.
And I just throw it right in where I want to go. I've put that in where I want to go, set up about what my range efficiency is, and tell it I want to stop at Electrify America stations. I'll drive this thing across the country today. It don't bother me one bit.
I'm already pleased with the initial build quality impression. I haven't heard any squeaks or rattles, which is always good. Not that you expect squeaks and rattles in new cars, but I tell you, occasionally we do get review units where you hear a squeak coming from a door panel or from some window trim.
Oh yeah.
And I have not heard that yet here. And this section of A1A isn't butter smooth either.
No.
You're a guy that's owned dozens of vehicles, so why the Daytona over everything else?
I was looking at a lot of different vehicles and stuff like that. I mean, I was even throwing around the idea of a Mustang Dark Horse for part of it with what I do for work. And I decided, I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to try an EV. So then it was Wagoneer S or this, and I like the styling of the Wagoneer S, but I wanted that muscle car-esque. And being in Florida was like, I don't need to have a SUV like I do back in Michigan all the time. Down here in Florida, I could have a muscle car driving year round. I could spoil myself, have something nice like this.
Well, and I imagine you got the summer tire package on this, but even as far as the folks that do live in snowbelt states, I mean, that's another thing that makes this car special compared to historic muscle cars is that it's all-wheel drive.
Yeah. And you can look on the forums and see these guys. These things just run through snow like it's a tank.
Yeah.
These things do amazing up in Ontario and northern Canada, the winters. These things, you'll see the R-Wing is just packed full of snow. It's the coolest sight ever. And I love the classic Mopar styling and just the way everything's laid out in here. It just feels very driver-oriented. It's nice. The choices of the carbon fiber and everything on the interior trim. I mean, I've always been a Mopar guy since day one. And just being able to get in something like this, even if this was a six-pack car, I think I would love it just as much too. But the EV aspect of it drove it over the top for me because I've never owned an EV till I had this one, and I don't think I'll ever not own one now. It just fit my lifestyle. How
reliable has this been? And
I mean, I got 37,000 miles on this car since end of March when I got it, March of 25. It's had the 12-volt battery placed in it, around 8,000 miles in the car. It just kind of had a weird, it started and then it shut off automatically on me at a stop and then wouldn't restart. I had to get it towed. They put a new 12-volt battery in and cleared codes, and it was good as can be after that. The only other issue I've had with this car, I had some weird manufacturing quirk, and it was the turn signal wiper stalk. Occasionally the wipers would just go off randomly, and it came down to just being the wiper stalk. They replaced that. I have not had another issue that this thing's need to go to the dealership for since then.
The Scat Pack isn't just fast, it's darn practical. With a roomy back seat, a hatchback design, and even a smallish front trunk. One of the areas where Dodge does have some catching up to do over-the-air updates.
Nobody's heard anything as far as over-the-air updates are concerned. They will pull the frunk out in these cars. They'll disconnect the electronic fans in the front so they aren't drawing power when these things are going through, and they'll update them all just one at a time.
They have to pull the plastics out of the front to update the software?
Yes, that's why it takes so long to update these. It seems so rudimentary and everything like that, but yeah, they don't go through and just flash the whole car as a whole. They have to go, okay, BPCM, let's attack that one and then flash that. Okay, BCM, I gotta flash that one separately, and it's an individual module each time. They gotta flash software to it, and if something fails, they're in trouble then.
Back to the positives. The Daytona's infotainment system has all the detailed metrics Dodge fans have come to expect.
So here you got your race options and performance pages. Performance pages are going to give you your typical, like every other SRT vehicle ever had, gauges that show you all your information, just a little more EV oriented, so high voltage battery level, battery temp, motor temperatures, potential powers, individual motor torques, wheel slip, and then motor powers here. Go to timers, and it'll give you your reaction time, quarter mile, eighth mile, 0 to 60 times, all that information's all on here. G-force indicator. So this will actually pop up in your heads-up display on the vehicle as well when you put it into track mode, but it gives you an active, G-force indicator, and then it'll also show your peak G-forces as you're cornering. Great for track times. And then propulsion will show you essentially graphed power, torque, and speed information on here. As you change your modes here, go from sport, we'll actually change the actual individual layout of the display here. Track will do the same thing, and as we do this, we are noticing that the exhaust tone is changing a little bit too. It changes per the mode you're in. And then drag will show up as well here. You can adjust individually on the screens here. We'll show you your motor power on one side and then tire pressure, or you can change that to lap timers, brake distances, G-forces, top speeds, everything like that in that menu, or you can pull up your ADAS.
A big thanks goes to Garrett for letting EV Rider experience his Charger Daytona Scat Pack, and here's hoping Dodge gets us an EV press car soon for a full review. I've had a blast getting to check out Dodge's Charger Daytona right here in Daytona Beach. I hope you did too. And if you enjoyed this episode of EV Rider, please go ahead and give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and maybe even the notification bell so I can continue to bring you more adventures in EV motoring. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you with another EV review sometime soon.
Charger Daytona lights up the day. EV Riders roll and plug it in and go. Scat Pack power with electric glow.